computer. All right, perfect. We are now recording. So I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen. All right, so I want to formally welcome everyone to our first Coffee with an Archaeologist session here at the Archaeology Museum. This is our back to school edition. So this is our first session, a partnership with the University of South Alabama Archaeology Museum and New South Associates. So we're really looking forward to this. This is going to be a monthly series that we're doing each month this semester, and if it works really well, we'll keep it going through the spring. But we wanted to make this first session kind of a resource, a presentation for our K through 12 teachers who I know are really busy planning for the upcoming semester. Mobile County, y'all are starting a little bit later than normal and you're going virtual. So we have some great virtual resources to share with you this afternoon. And we would just want to chat with everyone towards the end too, to see kind of what your needs are going to be in your classroom this semester. So I've got a couple of polls here. I'm going to launch this first one and y'all should be able to see it. It asks, what subjects do you teach? So if y'all want to go ahead and, all right, perfect. Lots of science coming in so far. Social studies, history. Okay, some math, awesome. Others, arts, perfect. All right, it's showing. All right, I've got 100% votes, awesome. So a good mix of folks here today. We've got some science, social studies, English language arts, math, arts, perfect. So one of the great things about archaeology is it's very interdisciplinary. Whatever subjects you teach, we can make it work for you. So I've done, we've got my art teachers in the room. We can work on programs related to ancient rock art and creating our own art pieces in the classroom. I've done math programs before when we're looking at basketry. I did a program once where we worked with ink and grass bridges. You could even bring some engineering components in there too. So lots of different ways we can use archaeology and bring different subjects to life in your classroom. So perfect. Thank you for answering that poll here. I'm going to end it. And so I'll just kind of share the results. I think you can kind of see that there. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing and close that one out. And then I had my next one. I think a lot of y'all kind of already answered some of this in the chat. But what grade levels do you teach? I kind of group them together here to see what we've got. Okay, a few K3, middle school. I don't see anyone in the 4 to 5 range. All right. Almost everyone. 10 out of 12 votes. All right. Well, we've got something for everyone. We've got, for K3, we've got some really great story time programs that we'll do here. Some really great programs for high school and middle school related to human osteology. I've got a really nice bone detectives program. So whatever standards you're trying to meet there, we'll be able to get them going there. So I'm gonna go ahead and end that. There's your results. You usually have a few more folks in that 4 to 5 grade level range, but that's okay. And of course, Alabama history and prehistory is a big one that we'll cover in social studies. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop sharing that there and close out the polls. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Just kind of wanted to get an idea of where everyone's coming from. So first I wanted to kind of start out with a little bit about the Archaeology Museum. I think Josh mentioned in the chat that he'd been out here before. I've got a couple of regulars who have been coming to the museum every year for our field trips, but a lot of y'all may not be familiar with our museum. We're located on University of South Alabama's campus in Mobile, and we showcase kind of the past 12,000 years of archaeology, prehistory, history here on the Gulf Coast. And we serve about 6,000 to 7,000 visitors per year. We're a pretty small museum, but I think we do some pretty great work in the community. And most of those visitors come from our K through 12 field trips. So we've got thousands of kids that will come through the museum every year for their field trip programs. We do a lot of family events and have been doing all of these things since 2012 when the museum was open. And of course, you know, due to everything going on this year, 2020, we will not be reopening to the public this fall. So we'll keep going with all of these virtual programs and events. And these are just a couple of highlights, a little bit more about our programs here. So a couple of images here. We've done some really great programs with Mobile County Public Schools before with the Engaging Youth in Engineering program. We've brought kids here for field trips. You see a group of kids at a table here. They're working on an artifact analysis activity. We get lots of undergraduate classes and students coming through the museum to do different things. At that bottom left image, they took a selfie when they came out for their museum visit from the College of Education. So we get a lot of folks who are coming. They're getting ready to be a teacher, so they're coming and learning a little bit about how field trips and museums work. And I also a lot of professional development workshops for K-12 teachers. You see in that bottom right corner, that's a teacher workshop Anne and I were actually both working on together. I put out a mock site on the floor with items from my living room and had the teachers kind of go through and pretend that they were archaeologists, and they had to map the site and interpret the results based on what they saw, what kind of person I might have been based on all of the artifacts they saw. I had some candles and some books and some games and that sort of thing. So they were able to make some pretty spot on determinations about my life. So that was pretty cool. And a little bit more here. I'm going to move on to our exhibits. So we have some really impressive exhibits. Some of our most popular ones include this mock French colonial house. We have different galleries that focus on different time periods in the museum. And this French colonial house is a perfect example of one we would have seen at the site of Old Mobile. We've had archaeologists who have been working in this area for the past, I don't know, well, 50 years. I'm getting ready to work on a 50 years of archaeology exhibit. They've been doing work for quite a bit of time. And so all of these artifacts come from our site of Old Mobile here. So students can actually walk through and see some of these things. Another really awesome exhibit that we have is a night at Bottle Creek, or day at Bottle Creek. It turns into nighttime, and you know, of course, at night when all the lights are off. A little bit of creepy sometimes to walk through the galleries when it's all dark, but this is kind of a representation of a Mississippian mound village. So when you're covering those standards in Alabama history, we talk a lot about the mound builders, and this is a great way to kind of bring that into the classroom. You can kind of look here, we've got a chief coming up the stairs. It's a replica mound house. He's coming up the stairs into his house, and you can kind of see a mural behind him that just shows the different lifeways of the people who have lived in this area for thousands of years. And a few more little highlights here. So a few more pictures from our galleries. We have an Archaeology of Us display that tells the story of a woman named Lucretia Perriman. And she was working as a midwife here in Mobile after the Civil War. And our archaeologists here at South had actually done some excavations outside of her home and recovered a lot of different artifacts from a well that was in her backyard. So we tell a little bit about the African Americans living in the Mobile area. So just kind of touching on all different aspects of our past here, and just there's a wonderful, colorful stories of just ordinary, everyday people who oftentimes get left out of, you know, the history books and stuff like that. So also a lot of interactive displays, some videos, those types of things that we put throughout the museum. We have a whole room that's dedicated to stone tool manufacturing and experimental archaeology, changes in environment through time. So a lot of different topics we can cover through exploring some of our exhibits here. So that's just a little bit about the museum for those who haven't had the chance to visit us just yet. Now you can visit virtually. And I'm gonna move on to our virtual program offerings. So kind of what we have in the works for the fall and what we can offer you for your classroom. We've got some great options for interactive 30 to 45-minute field trip sessions with me or one of my student workers. We have some work study students who help out with programs here. You can see that's a picture of me working on, we did a summer camp, a week-long summer camp where we had the kids log in for an hour a day, Monday through Friday. We did different topics. We did rock art and I think I did one on fantastic fibers or something like that. Each day had a different kind of alliteration, a little theme to it. We worked on pottery, we made our own pottery. So these are live sessions. You can connect with me via Zoom or Google Hangouts or any of the platforms that you might be using in your classroom. So this might be something we want to chat about a little bit later with you all. If you could let us know kind of what technology you're going to be using this fall, which platforms. I know lots of folks use Google Classroom, what your capabilities are going to be, because we'll be able to meet those pretty much any of those platforms, even Skype, though I'm not sure how many people still use a Skype, but our university has a contract or a agreement with Zoom, so we can do a lot of Zoom sessions. So you'll just have to let us know how we can connect with you. We're also doing these monthly coffee chats. And I will also be bringing back our monthly storytime programs. We did these right after we kind of pivoted to online virtual world in March. I started virtual storytime programs. We'll read an archaeology themed book and we'll do some sort of craft activity after that. And I've also got some K-12 development, professional development sessions in the works. This will kind of depend on demand. I know we normally like to do a lot of our professional development workshops in the summer, but of course, again, with the shift to online, we lost a lot of folks who would normally have come here for workshops in person, but I would love to continue to develop sessions for online. And Archaeology Day, so this is one of our biggest events we normally do every fall. We have hundreds of folks come through the museum. I'm going to shift it to a virtual format this year. I think we'll probably do sessions spread out through the month of October that you would be able to join in on if there's a topic of interest. We usually do atlatl throwing demonstrations. We'll do flint knapping demonstrations. So some really fun events in the works for Archaeology Month. So I'm just going to go through these really quickly, and I'm going to provide everyone with this PowerPoint presentation. So I have all of your email addresses. I can send this to you when we're finished today, so don't worry about like scrambling to take lots of notes. This is also all on our website, which I'm going to share with you in just a few minutes. But this just kind of gives you an idea of our virtual field trip options for the different grade levels. So here are some options for K3, a storytelling through time program. I've got prehistoric pottery, and then the rock art has been really fun. That's one that I did with our summer camp group, and I usually read a story and kind of have a lesson that goes along with the ancient rock art, and then they're allowed to make a rock art panel using materials that you would have in your classroom or that they would have available easily at home. I try to keep those things in mind when I develop these programs, knowing that kids might be at home or they may not have access to different types of things, so they should be able to easily pick up a piece of paper and a pencil or something like that, and they usually have enough to be able to participate in the activity. So keeping those things in mind. Here are some other ones. One of our most popular, of course, is the General Alabama Prehistory and History. So covering the woodland cultures, the Mississippian mound builders, French settlers, Civil War. We cover all those different areas. And This would be kind of an overview tour of our exhibits and our galleries. So I'm able to actually take the iPad into the museum gallery and kind of, you know, selfie show folks around. So it's a little bit of an interactive tour through the museum, as if you might be walking through the museum in person. But I have lots of artifacts and things that will go along with that as well. So I usually set up a table with different things and I can show them. We do like an artifact analysis activity. So all of these programs that I'm sharing with you are going to have some sort of hands-on interactive component. So it's not just me sitting here talking at them on a screen. So we've got the Foragers to Farmers program went over really well as well. And stratigraphy, tools of the trade, just these lots of different options. And if there's something here that doesn't strike your fancy or may not meet what you need to meet in the classroom, just let us know and we'll be able to customize something for you. But these are just a few that I have done in the past that have worked really well for our regular offerings. And then we've got some great ones for middle and high school. So the Bone Detectives is our human osteology lab activity and presentation. So I have actual casts. They're not real human bones, but I have casts of bones. So anyone who's a fan of the TV show or forensic anthropology, that sort of thing, will really enjoy that. And we'll learn how, I show the students how to determine an individual's age, male or female, height, that sort of thing. So lots of clues that we can look at to get information about our past. And then I've got an Archaeology 101, I've got Science and Archaeology, so we're covering all the basics of how we can use chemistry and physics and geology and biology and how we pull from all of these different disciplines to help us create a clearer picture of past human lifeways, which is what our goal for archaeology is. So it is to understand the human past based on all of the things that people have left behind for us. So those are our options for now that you can pick from. And some other resources I've got, I'm going to show you our website in just a second. I've got some archaeology reading lists, so books that I've organized by grade level that you can choose from. I've got some standalone activities and other lesson plans on our website. We do have an old mobile trunk that is intended to normally go out into classrooms for checkout, but due to everything happening now, we can do that virtually. And a lot of the lessons that I have on the website go along with the trunk. So we can do some sort of interactive presentation where they're working pre and post activities to go along with the trunk presentation. And then I think I mentioned we're going to be working on a 50 Years of Archaeology at South Alabama exhibit. This will be a website, a totally new website, probably not associated with our South Alabama website. And I'm going to be kind of thinking about ways that I'm going to be able to bring in teachers and students, so it's not just something that adults can go online and look at. It's going to be a collection of images and artifacts, just kind of highlighting the best of the 50 years here. We're going to choose a site, an experience for every year of the past 50. So it's going to be a bit of an undertaking, but we're going to add some really fun interactive components, maybe develop some lesson plans to go along with that. But that's going to be my project for the fall. So we'd love to hear how you might interact with something like that, or what kinds of things you might be looking for. And so this is our website here. Again, I'm going to send all of this out to you, and I could probably, once Anne starts her presentation, I could type this up into the chat box and you can copy and paste it real quick. But I'm going to go ahead here. Let's see. All right, and show you, this is how you would schedule a virtual field trip with me. We're doing virtual field trips for free for fall 2020. So all you have to do is email me very flexible schedule this fall, so we should be able to accommodate most time blocks. So all you need to do would be to email me at cravins@southalabama.edu. And if you got your Zoom registration, you've already got my email. But I do require a 10-student minimum for booking field trips. And I just kind of need your basic info, like which school you're from, your name, all of that sort of thing, and which programs you'd like to join in on. So I'm going to go ahead here and do a new share and pull up, let's see, stop the share here for a second and I'm going to show off my desktop and show the website here. Pull this up. All right, I think that should be good. So y'all can see my southalabama.edu website here. This is our page. And if you just kind of search in the search bar too, the museum should pull up. Here's our website. And if you look to the left here, we've got visiting the museum and school tours and programs. So if you click on that, you'll be able to see the same information I just kind of shared with you, my contact info, our options for field trips. You click on that and it will show you all of those virtual field trip options and what they entail. And I'll click back and show you also our educational resources. So this is a little bit more. We do also have an old mobile graphic novel that's pretty fun. I'd be happy to provide y'all with classroom copies. I know some of you might be familiar with this one here. Just let me know. I've got plenty to give away. Your trunk presentation, and then there's some lesson plans and activities here. You can just kind of scroll through and see what we have. I'm always adding to this list. Whenever I'm coming up with something new, I'll add things to this list here. And you can click and it'll open up a PDF of whatever you need to complete the activity. So yeah, I think that was pretty much it. I'm going to stop share here and go ahead and turn it over to Anne. So Anne is going to talk a little bit about what she's got going on over at New South. She's got some great resources to share with you all. So I'm gonna turn it over to Anne.
Thank you, Candice. Hi, everyone. I'll start off just by introducing myself a little bit further. I am an archaeologist at New South Associates, but not long ago, I was at USA with Candice. I got my master's in education there. And before that, I was in cultural resource management, which I'm back in now, which is business archaeology. So I work at New South Associates, which is based in Stone Mountain, Georgia, although we have offices in Tennessee, North Carolina, and in South Carolina. And I specialize in public outreach, but I also direct field projects and I write reports. So I'm still very much in archaeology. All right, so I'm going to start my presentation with you guys now. Okay. So at New South, we are above all a community of professionals who study our shared culture history. And we offer not only services in archaeology, but we offer services in history and architectural history as well. We also do geophysical work, which includes ground penetrating radar and magnetometry. We have mortuary archaeologists, so we do cemetery work, and we have a zooarchaeologist as well. So in addition to producing technical reports for our various field projects, we also write popular histories, we produce brochures, interpretive signs and posters, we present at conferences, create videos, blog posts. write lesson plans and publish in journals and produce books as well. New South has always put community involvement at the forefront. It's one of the main reasons I wanted to be at this company. Archaeologists are in recent years coming to value education and public outreach more and more, and noticing that our data is not nearly as valuable if we don't share it with the public and disseminate all of that data that we excavate. So in that vein, we participate in Archaeology Month events. We encourage all of our staff to do public presentations, participate in career days at schools, and we also help to develop community preservation plans. In addition to that, we support local, state, regional, and national organizations in a variety of roles. We serve as editors, board members, committee members, and advisors. So we're always trying to find new ways to benefit the public and involve ourselves in the community. And this pandemic has really given us an opportunity to have a broader audience by moving to a virtual platform. And so we've tried to stay positive and really embrace the good things that can come out of this new and uncertain year that we are in. So typically at New South, every year we would host a huge event like Candice was talking about at the USA Archaeology Museum. They do theirs in October, I believe. We do ours in May. And it's this massive event in which most of the Stone Mountain community comes, and it's a huge part of our company's culture and really the culture of the community, as we are the largest employer in Stone Mountain. So this year, we had already done months of planning for that event before the pandemic really took hold and we realized we weren't going to be able to host it anymore. And we decided to create a virtual event. And it really transformed into something that was so much more than that. And we're still developing it, and it's growing, and we're creating, a huge multifaceted platform with this website. And we are calling it the Portal to the Past. As you can see, this is the link here, and I'll click on that in a minute, and we'll kind of go through, click through the website, and I'll show you how to use it. So topics covered in this virtual tour include basketry, pottery, atlatl throwing, mortuary archaeology. We really tried to transform it into a virtual version of our event. So we have like literal tents that you click on, and I'll show you that in just a minute. Before I go into that, I do want to show you guys our extras page. This is where we have collected a large number of outside resources. Okay, so I'm going to have to stop sharing this screen and switch to another one to show you our portal. So give me just a second. All right, so this is our extras page, and on it we have a variety of different types of resources organized for you. We have websites and channels, videos and podcasts. These are all archaeology and history related. As of right now, this website's primarily catered to Georgia, although we do have resources related to other states and more generalized resources. But we plan to develop the website and continue to use it as a platform, not just for Georgia, but really for a lot of other states in the Southeast, since we do have offices in Tennessee, South Carolina, North Carolina, and we would also like to make it accessible for Alabama residents as well. So there's University of South Alabama lesson plans. That takes you to the same page Candice was just showing you. We have a ton of cool virtual field trips in here that could be awesome for the classroom. So this is a nice page for resources. And I'll talk to you in a little bit about how we plan to further develop this website and to better organize the resources for classroom educators. Okay, so I'm going to go to the home page. So this is our campus map. And you can see we have it organized by different exhibits. This literally is a map of our campus. So this is what it looks like. I'm in this building right now. Okay, so here's excavation and mapping. So each of these different exhibit pages gives you a little bit of background information on the topic. Then we often show pictures from our past events, and we define a few key terms. And then at the bottom of each page, we have an activity. All of these activities are aligned currently with Georgia state standards, but part of our future work is to align them with state standards from other states. And also, I'm going to talk about this in a little bit, but we're going to organize these resources or links to these resources you don't have to find the specific standard that you're trying to meet for your particular curriculum. So I'm going to show you guys a snippet of, we have videos in these, which are really fun. I'll show you guys an example of these videos which we've made. This is Lauren Walls, who's going to be actually on a Coffee with an Archaeologist session later this year. She's an ethnobotanist.
Oh, hi there. Didn't see ya. I'm just doing an archaeological survey here in my backyard, considering no one's allowed to leave home right now. Have you ever been curious about what an archaeologist carries to work every day? I know I was before I started this job. Why don't I show you?
Hi, my name is Dorland, and I'm an archaeologist at New South Associates. I'm here today to tell you about my favorite tool in archaeology, the compass. I have two to show you here today.
Okay, so that's our toolkit video, and you can go in and finish it anytime you like. We talk about a variety of different tools, and then on this page we do an activity to instruct students or anyone at home who wants to build their own toolkit using common household items. And again, it is aligned with state standards. Let's see. We also have a basket weaving exhibit page. This is by far our most popular exhibit at the in-person event. And we teach traditional Cherokee basketry, which involves a double-walled method. It's a beautiful basket. And here we provide some information on traditional Cherokee basketry and modern Cherokee basketry artists, which is really neat. And the activity for this page is to make your own basket at home using newspaper. So you're seeing a theme here. We are incorporating common household items so that we can support distance learning. Okay, and I'll show you. See, this one we aligned with a large amount of standards. And let's see. I'm going to show you guys Abby. Abby is an amazing resource that we have been using for Georgia Public Archaeology since 2008. And she is awesome. We have her here on our campus now. And we're excited to be able to use her again when we start doing in-person learning again. But I'll show you a short clip of this video as well.
Hey y'all, I'm Scott with New South Associates. What weighs 14,000 pounds, has thousands of admirers, knows a lot about archaeology, and loves to share that knowledge? Well, it's Abby, the Archaeobus. Abby here has traveled across Georgia from the mountains to the coast, visiting schools, libraries, malls, museums, historic sites, and parks to teach children and adults all about archaeology. Abby provides STEM knowledge, history, archaeology, and preservation lessons that can tell you the importance about our archaeological sites. Have you ever thought about a 2,000-year-old Native American arrowhead, or a shipwreck lying underneath a shimmering body of water? Or how about an old house ruin in a cornfield? Abby can teach you about how all of these sites are important. And while you're thinking about archaeological sites and artifacts that you might have seen, what are some ways you think we can help preserve those sites? How about we hop on Abby and check out some of the exhibits she has and learn more about
the beginning of our Abby video. She has some amazing resources, and yeah, she's helped to inform and impassion the public for many years. So our all of these exhibits culminate in a message about stewardship and preservation. So our hashtag for really this entire year of archaeology education and outreach is hashtag protectors of the past. So we're trying to build our protectors of the past community and inform people of the importance and stewardship and preservation. So we kind of go into threats to cultural heritage, urbanization, and natural processes like storm events and rising sea levels. Vandalism and looting are really a major issue that we can address, and we can address through informing people of the importance of context at archaeological sites, why it is a bad thing to remove artifacts from their original location, and to teach people about the laws in place and why it matters. So this is a really good page if you want to teach that to your students and you want to just give them a little bit of an overview about historic preservation and why it matters. And this is a pretty cool map. We created a map of archaeological and historic sites in the Atlanta area. We want to do this for other places. The USA Archaeology Museum actually has a really cool map right next to the large stratigraphy wall that shows sites that are preserved, endangered, and it's a really cool view of the Mobile area, and it really gives you a better understanding of exactly how many sites are surrounding us, which is way more than most people think. Archaeology is everywhere. And we created a really fun activity for this page in which students actually go out and record a site, which is really fun, and it encourages students to go and enjoy these resources that we work so hard to preserve and to protect. So this is a really neat activity that if you wanted to take your students down the road to an actual historic site, which there are many in your area that you can visit, and you have them document the site just like an archaeologist would, and then they interpret the data that they collect just like an archaeologist, and it kind of hopefully instills in them a sense of stewardship and a desire to learn more about local history. Okay, so this is a little bit of our website. I encourage you to explore it some more. Now I'm going to go back to my presentation, so I'm going to stop sharing and share the last few slides that I want to go over with you guys. Okay, so this, and in addition to focusing on common household items and really accommodating distance learning, we also want to make sure that we accommodate those students who don't have access to internet or to devices. So we created a printable field book that covers the information that we show on all of our exhibit pages, and it has some activities in it. It doesn't have all of our activities that we created, and that's part of our future plan, our work ahead of us. We plan to create printable versions of any virtual activity that we develop or have developed, so that these are available to all students in all classrooms who may be disadvantaged. And if you use these and enjoy our website, please post and use our hashtag. We want to build our community and encourage people to embrace local history and learn more about the history in their area. So looking forward, we are working to make the portal, the website I just showed you, an educational tool with year-round relevancy. We're going to regularly update it, and the content's always going to be evolving to accommodate a broader audience. So like I was saying earlier, we're going to organize these resources. We're going to create pages specifically for educators to go in and identify resources based on their state, their grade level, and their subject. So that way it's super simple for you guys to go in and identify the resources that apply to you. And we want to really take out any of the guesswork on your end. And again, we're going to create PDF versions of everything, so you can just print out packets for your students. We're going to create both an educator version where it has the lesson plan and all of the standards and objectives outlined. And then we're going to create the student print version, which is just the activity as it is relevant to them. And we are refining a schedule now. It's all in the works. We're going to be letting you guys know when we're going to release content soon, and we're excited to do that. So thank you. And at this point, I'm going to turn it back over to Candice.
All right. I think I'm unmuted, so thank you, and lots of great resources, and yeah, really excited for our upcoming initiatives. A lot of awesome things in the works, and yeah, again, like Anne was saying, I think you know, there's a silver lining to this pandemic, in that I feel the shift to the online world actually has helped in a way to expand our reach and our audiences and be able to meet a wider variety, you know, all across the country. Really, I had a little boy from New York actually participating in my summer camp a few weeks ago. So it's been really, really fun, and just kind of rolling with it here, which I'm sure you are all very, very familiar with. So there was a question in the chat box, I think is directed probably to Anne, about the compass activities. Are there other activities involving using a compass?
Yes, so I'm glad you asked that. On our excavation page that I showed you first, that page incorporates using a compass. So we're meeting multiple standards that involve using the cardinal rows and understanding like intermediate directions. So we meet a lot of different standards related to the compass, both through the toolkit page and the excavation and mapping page.
Awesome. Thank you, Anne. So I'm going to go ahead. We've got about 10 minutes left. I was going to reserve this last part of our presentation for any questions or comments you all might have. Feel free to use the chat box, but I'm also going to, y'all should be able to unmute yourselves. So if you'd like to, I think you can raise your hand. There's a raise your hand function. If you've got a question or a comment, we'd love to hear from you. This is one of the best ways we can kind of figure out what you all are looking for in the classroom this fall and how we can best support you, because that's what we're here for. We want to make your job a little bit easier this fall. And so we'd love to hear from you if anyone's got any questions or comments. And we'll kind of wrap things up, I think.
Oh, I just had there's a like security officer at my door, so I can't ignore them. Sorry.
Hey, Candice.
Yes, hello.
This is Kathy Irby.
Hi.
Hello. The primary comment I have is I cannot believe I did not know this museum was there. I went back to school as an old person to be a science teacher, and so I graduated in '02. But, you know, South Alabama has just been part of who we are for forever, and I had no idea.
Yes, I get that a lot. It's a bit of a hidden gem, I feel like, on campus. And you know, we have a small staff. It's pretty much just me here, and I have a couple of, you know, dedicated student workers. So it's just been kind of a word of mouth spread, I feel like, in the community over the years. And I kind of have my dedicated teachers who come back for field trips every year. And then I've been trying to kind of expand our reach through, you know, family events and public outreach type programs to get the word out a little bit more. But yeah.
That's
2012.
wonderful.
It's been 8 years.
It is. This is great. So we will definitely be doing some things.
Awesome.
I know we will want to, for sure.
Perfect. I look forward to hearing from you. And I'm keeping an eye on the chat box here too.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, that's all as I say, I was just embarrassed at myself for not knowing.
Don't be embarrassed. It's kind of, I mean, how would you know, right? Unless we like installed some billboards along the side of the interstates or something. Hey, there's a museum here. But yeah. Let's see, Michelle, activities for virtual labs. Yeah, I think we could probably work with you on that. Again, if you want to reach out with me and chat about your individual needs, we could probably put something together for you. And it kind of will also depend on what specifically what kind of labs you're looking for, if you wanted to elaborate on that a little bit more. Yeah. Any other questions, comments? I can't wait until everyone's allowed to come back and see us in person. Any offering on marine archaeology? So we have not yet done anything with marine archaeology. We actually have our friends, I'm going to give them a plug, over at the Florida Public Archaeology Network out of the University of West Florida over in Pensacola. They have an entire marine archaeology program there. And so they have a lot of folks who have experienced work in that type of archaeology. We're more terrestrial based over here, but you know, they've got some great programs on marine archaeology. It might be something that we look into for the future, but in the meantime, I would check that out, and I can put that also in the chat box here. So I'm going to put some websites in the chat box if y'all want to check those out before you log out of the room. I'll make sure I'm keeping an eye on here. Let's see. Our sixth graders visited your museum last year from Clarksville. Yay! You're so welcome. Thank you guys for coming. Anything else? So earth science, virtual labs for earth science. We do have, I didn't list this one on the list of offerings. We do have like a rocks and minerals lab that we've done here in person, but it's really kind of hard to translate that experience virtually. So I tried to kind of take the experiences, the different lab activities that we have that we do in person, which ones were going to be easily translated into an online format, given the quick shift to online and kind of a lack of resources, that sort of thing. So that could be a possibility for the future. And do you have any other suggestions for virtual labs for earth science? What could work maybe from your website?
For earth science, we do have a like soil texture brief activity, and that would be interesting to create like activities around soil analysis and soil readings. That's something to think about, but I can't think of anything that is specific to earth science that we have, but I'll think about that.
So we do here at the Archaeology Museum have our stratigraphy program. If you saw that one listed, I do kind of cover the basics of, you know, the law of superposition and kind of like geological components as they relate specifically to archaeology. So anything that we do that we incorporate is going to, you know, have a tie-in to archaeology. So that one might be a good one. We go through different, you know, the different soil layers, kind of like piecing together the different artifacts through time and kind of establishing chronology that way, those types of things. So yeah, soil character sounds good. Yeah, awesome. Well, that can be something that we work on. So thank you for the feedback. Any other things? We're just about done. We're just about at 5 o'clock, and we want to be very respectful of everyone's time here. So yeah.
If y'all have any specific standards that either your students struggle with year after year, you've noticed in testing, or that you would like some support in developing content for, please let us know. That's really helpful to know like specific standards that you want to help accommodate.
Offer more workshops. I love this. Thank you. Yes, we do too. We'll try to teacher workshops. If y'all are a fan of those, I'm always trying to I've had to cancel a couple because we've not had high enough enrollment. So please, 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 if you see, I've got all of your emails now. So please sign up. I do a really good project archaeology workshop They have different curriculum guides that you can use in your classrooms. There's one on rock art. There's one on investigating shelter. I regularly offer those. I'm one of Alabama's state representatives for the Project Archaeology program, which is a national initiative to get archaeology into the classroom. So some really good resources there, and we can offer you PD credit. So through SARIC here at South, we have a whole office that we work with to award you your PD credit hours. And they're always, I never charge for workshops, so they're free. And we can give you, if it's a multi-day workshop, you get, several hours of PD credit. So yeah, let me know and I'll get something in the works for fall. Yeah. Okay. I see some little side conversations going on in the chat, so that's great. Please keep chatting, but we're just about at 5 o'clock, so if you need to run, please go ahead and take off. We're gonna stick around a few more minutes, monitor things, and see if anybody else needs anything or wants to say anything. But I want to thank you again for joining us this afternoon, and we can't wait to see you in our virtual Zoom room or Google Hangout or checking out the website. So let us know if you need anything and have a wonderful day.